This morning, Mr. David sat motionless in front of the wedding photo on the living room wall. It was the photo he had once hung himself on their 40th anniversary. In the picture, he's smiling brightly, holding Mrs. Eleanor's hand in a garden full of white daisies. But now, he looked at that photo with a strange, distant gaze. He tilted his head, blinked, then turned and asked, "Who's the woman in the picture?" Mrs. Eleanor froze. The teacup she was pouring tilted completely, hot water spilling onto her foot unnoticed. Not because it hurt, but because her heart sank. It was the first time Mr. David didn't recognize the woman he had once vowed to love forever, and it wouldn't be the last. Alzheimer's doesn't knock with a loud sound. It arrives quietly, like fog blurring what was once crystal clear. It doesn't just take memory. It steals away the most precious connections. The familiar voices, the recognizing embrace, even the trusting gaze between two lovers. But here's something many seniors have never been clearly told. Memory is not just fate. It can be held onto, slowed down, reconnected, not through expensive drugs or complicated therapies, but through simple, gentle exercises done daily with someone you love. A round of clapping. A moment naming familiar objects. A deep, steady breath. All of them are anchors, holding memory in place before it slips away for good. And that journey, you can begin it today. Rest is best. For years, many have believed. When memory starts to fade, the best thing to do is complete rest. No more reading, because it might tire the brain. No more walking, because they might get lost. No more conversations, because it might cause confusion. And so day after day, people begin to step back. They whisper behind closed doors. Don't ask him too much, poor guy. Don't let her do anything. Just let her rest. And then, memory slips away faster. Words disappear. Familiar faces fade. Are we misunderstanding something? Could it be that this overprotection is actually speeding Alzheimer's up? Could it be that what the brain truly needs is not total silence, but tiny, gentle sparks of stimulation every single day? Could it be that what seniors really need is not rest without action, but rest within gentle, meaningful movement? And if that's true, then maybe we need to change how we show love. Not just care, but a deeper awakening of life within memory. And if you're still listening at this point, you're already holding something deeply important in your heart. You don't want memories to disappear. Whether it's the memory of someone you love or your very own, then this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'll share with you simple but powerful exercises made especially for seniors showing signs of Alzheimer's. No equipment needed, no cost, no need for extraordinary memory, just a little patience, a bit of love, and one small daily habit that could preserve the greatest thing of all, the self. You'll be guided through how to clap to awaken reflexes, how to name objects to bring back lost words, how to step properly to balance the brain, how to breathe deeply for restful sleep and better recall, and little stories to help you reconnect with your loved ones. No exercise is magical, but every time you do it, is one more time you choose not to let memory slip away. And you don't have to do this alone. I'm here, with you, with every senior walking this path to preserve what's most precious: clarity, love, and the most beautiful memories of life. Scientific foundation explanation. The human brain is the most miraculous organ to ever exist on this planet. It holds over 86 billion neurons, interconnected in a complex web. But here's the strange thing. What keeps the brain functioning well isn't rest. It's meaningful activity. When we listen to music, when we clap to a rhythm, when we recall the name of a familiar object, that's when the brain is being exercised and neural pathways are being preserved. In Alzheimer's, those connections begin to fade over time. Amyloid plaques form, pressing down on nerve cells. The once clear memory trails turn into roads buried in dust. And without stimulation, those roads eventually vanish, as if they never existed. But modern science has revealed something hopeful. The brain can regenerate and reconnect, even at age 70 or 80. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. What does that mean? It means even if one memory area is damaged, another, if trained, can build a new pathway to compensate. Like when a main road collapses, people open a detour if there's still a need to travel. And what creates that need is exercise, gentle, consistent stimulation each day. We're not trying to cure Alzheimer's with a few simple exercises. What we're doing is extending the light of memory for as long as possible, helping a loved one remember who they are for just one more day. Helping you, if you're a senior, wake up with clarity for one more morning to say, I love you. And the wonderful thing is, we can start right now, right here, in a quiet home, with a warm cup of tea, and two hands still able to clap to a familiar rhythm. Exercise implementation. Clapping to rhythm, a sound that awakens the brain. Sound is one of the last senses the brain holds on to. Clapping slowly, steadily, with guidance helps stimulate motor connections. Many think clapping is just a child's game. But for those with memory loss, it's a song that revives quiet brain areas. Mrs. Doris, 83, had been silent for weeks. One afternoon, her son began clapping and singing her old lullaby. She didn't speak, but suddenly clapped along. Her son's tears fell, as if she'd just said, I'm still here. When practicing, choose a familiar song, simple rhythm, and eyes full of warmth. It doesn't need to be in sync, just full of feeling. Sometimes one clap brings a memory back to life. And if that happens, you'll want to move on to the next miracle. Naming familiar objects. Piecing together lost memories. Place familiar items in front. A bowl, a towel, a family photo. Gently ask, what is this called? Or what do we use this for? This simple exercise activates the language area and short-term memory. Seniors often confuse naming with emotional recognition of objects. Many think, if they forget, asking won't help. But every time you ask, you help reconnect a fallen puzzle piece. Mr. Walter, 79, once stared blankly at his late wife's photo. She looks familiar, but I don't know her name. His grandchild handed him the photo, saying, This is Grandma, the one who made you apple pie. His eyes softened, and he smiled. Ah, the cinnamon smell, that's it. When practicing, choose a quiet moment. Avoid making them feel embarrassed or confused. As long as they feel safe, their memory has a place to return to. And when that moment comes, you'll realize, no memory is truly lost. It just hasn't been called back the right way. Cross-limb steps, awakening both brain hemispheres. Have them stand or sit securely. Touch right hand to left knee, then left hand to right knee. This simple move activates coordination between both brain hemispheres. While moving, add a rhyme, count aloud, or tell a short story to double the effect. Some believe seniors shouldn't do complex movements. But cross-limb actions are exactly what awaken deep neural pathways. Mrs. Helen, once a dance teacher, was diagnosed with early Alzheimer's. Her daughter played old waltz music, clapping and showing the cross step. At first, she shook her head, but then slowly followed along. Each step wiped away a layer of dust on old memories. When practicing, stay close to offer support if they lose balance. Keep eye contact, encourage gently. And even if they only manage 2 steps today, that's enough to try 3 tomorrow. Because every small step today may help preserve the whole person tomorrow. 3 small exercises, seemingly simple. But for every senior facing Alzheimer's, they're not just motions, but a thread holding on to what matters most, themselves. Touching a knee isn't just movement. It's touching the memory that's drifting away. Saying spoon isn't just for breakfast. It's holding on to a once familiar word of love. And when seniors practice consistently, slowly, forgetfully, even repeating, each day they're planting a seed of memory in the fragile soil of aging. We often wait to see results before believing something has value. But with Alzheimer's, keeping a smile or one moment of recognition is already a miracle. And to help you see why these exercises are never in vain, I want to share a slow but moving recovery journey of a senior no one expected would ever wake up again. A recovery journey from the very first step. Frank used to be the quiet but strongest man in the family. He built a small house in the suburbs with his own hands at age 28. He drove his kids to school every morning and never once forgot his wife's birthday in 45 years of marriage. But at 79, things began to fade. He called his son the neighbor guy, forgot lunch, left his keys in the fridge. One night, during dinner, he asked, "Who's that girl staring at me?" The girl he asked about was his own granddaughter. Frank's family fell into a void. His wife cried silently each night. His children searched for pills, for specialists. But all said, "It's Alzheimer's. Nothing can be done." But his youngest daughter, Sarah, refused to believe that. She believed, if even one thread of memory remains, family should be the one to hold on. So each morning, she came to her father's house. She played the jazz tunes he once loved, clapped with him, 1, 2, pause, 1, 2. At first, he just stared blankly. But she kept going. By the second week, he began to clap softly. By the third, he asked, "Why do you always play that song?" Sarah smiled. "Because you used to play it on your saxophone. Do you remember?" Frank said nothing, but his eyes welled up. She continued the naming objects game. His glasses, the porcelain coffee mug, the old leather hat he always wore. Sometimes he said the wrong word. Sometimes he stayed silent. But Sarah never corrected, only gently reminded with stories. "That hat. You wore it the day Mom gave birth to me." Then came the crossbody steps. He could barely stand. But she held him, one step at a time. One day he said, "I'm old. I can't remember anything." Sarah held his hand and said, "You don't need to remember everything. Just remember who I am, and that's enough." After 2 months, the family saw him smile more. He sat down at the dinner table before being called. He called out to their dog, "Max, come here, boy." And one spring morning, when his wife gently placed her hand on his shoulder and whispered, "Frank, who am I in your life?" He looked into her eyes and replied, "You're the only one I still want to remember." Alzheimer's hasn't stopped, but the journey of holding onto each memory, through clapping, naming, breathing, and love, helped Frank come alive again, even if only for a moment. And for every senior, that miracle begins with one small exercise, one committed companion, and one heart that refuses to let go. Common mistakes in exercise and care. On the journey to help seniors exercise to slow down the progression of Alzheimer's. Not everyone knows how to start correctly or how to persist the right way. And sometimes, just one small mistake in caregiving can unintentionally push a loved one even further away from their memories. Let's take a look at the most common mistakes and avoid them before it's too late. Crossmark 1. Forcing the patient to get it right from the start. Many people think, if Dad doesn't do it right, this exercise is useless. So they adjust the hands, correct the legs, make them count again, make them remember again. But for seniors with Alzheimer's, pressure creates immense psychological stress. The brain is already lost, and now it shrinks further out of fear of failure, fear of blame. Backhand index pointing right instead of forcing correctness. Praise any effort, even the smallest one. Just raising a hand, that's something to celebrate. Just smiling when hearing an old song, that's a step forward. Crossmark 2. Expecting instant results and giving up when nothing seems to change. Alzheimer's doesn't arrive in one day, and it won't improve in a week. But some people practice with their father for 3 sessions, then say, "I don't see anything." He still forgets the same. And they stop, right when the results are just beginning to take root. Backhand index pointing right. Remember, the brain needs time to rebuild its connections. Like planting a tree, No one digs up the soil every day just to check if the roots have grown. Crossmark 3. Only doing physical exercises, while forgetting emotions and connection. Some follow every move, every schedule, every instruction. But they forget to look into their parents' eyes. Forget to play the old favorite music. Forget to ask, "Are you happy, Dad?" Then the exercise becomes a chore, not companionship. But for Alzheimer's, what matters most is emotional bonding through loving movement. Crossmark 4. Comparing the patient to who they used to be or to someone else. Saying things like, "Mom used to have such a good memory. Why is it so bad now?" Or, "My friend also has Alzheimer's but can still read the newspaper." Are invisible scissors cutting the last thread of dignity the patient holds. Backhand index pointing right. Every senior walks a different path. The only comparison we need is whether they made one more step today than yesterday. Crossmark 5. Not preparing a safe environment, leading to fall risks during exercise. Some let their elders stand to exercise, but no sturdy chair nearby. Practice cross-stepping, but the floor is slippery with no mat. One small fall can crush confidence and make them refuse to exercise again. Backhand index pointing right. Always prepare in advance. A sturdy chair, non-slippery floor, shoes with good grip, a quiet, well-lit space. Physical safety is the first step toward emotional recovery. And the biggest mistake is not doing it wrong, but doing nothing at all. Because you think it's already too late. But the truth is, it's never too late to love once more, to practice once more, to preserve one more memory. Safe routine, personalized by seniors' physical condition. Each senior is a world of their own. Some still walk 2 laps around the park every morning. Some can only sit for 15 minutes before back and knee pain kicks in. And when memory starts to fade, physical and mental strength also change differently. We cannot apply the same approach to everyone. Backhand index pointing right. We need a personalized, safe, and deeply humane roadmap. Calendar the 3-7-21 principle. 3 weeks of warm-up, 4 weeks of adaptation, 21 days of consistent routine. Green circle weeks 1 to 3, gentle warm-up, building trust. Direct hit goal. Get used to daily exercise habits. No pressure of right, wrong. Prioritize comfort, lightness, and joy. Pushpin instructions. Choose one single exercise, suggestion, clapping to rhythm or naming objects. Do 3 to 5 minutes per session, 1 to 2 times/day. Quiet, familiar space with a loved one nearby. Notice all positive reactions, even just focused eyes or a soft smile. Exclamation mark note. This is the habit-forming, reassurance phase. No pressure, no correction, no expectations. Just let them feel. Exercise is a pleasant experience. Yellow circle weeks 4 to 7. Increase coordination, expand capability. Direct hit goal. Add new exercises. Activate motor and balance areas of the brain. Create interest and maintain consistency. Pushpin instructions. Combine 2 to 3 exercises. Morning, clapping plus cross step with arms and legs. Afternoon, naming objects plus 4, 7, 8 breathing. Practice 10 to 15 minutes/day, divided into 2 sessions. Can play soft music, set fixed time, after breakfast, before bedtime. Exclamation mark note. Always let the senior choose the favorite exercise first. If one causes discomfort, pause, replace with an easier one. Blue circle week 8 onward. Maintain, flexible, long-term companionship. Direct hit goal. Build a sustainable routine. Maintain awareness and emotions. Turn exercise into a bonding family habit. Pushpin instructions. Choose 3 to 4 favorite exercises, spread throughout the day. Flexible frequency. Each exercise 3 times/week. Alternate between solo and with loved ones. Add emotional elements. Tell old stories while practicing. Use family photos. Play memory-evoking music. Exclamation mark note. This is no longer a treatment exercise, but a life journey with memories, slow and full of love. Grouping physical conditions for personalization for seniors. Group 1, weak condition, easily fatigued. Magnifying glass tilted right signs to recognize. Sit for long periods during the day. Feel dizzy when standing too long. Reluctant to move or have fallen recently. White heavy check mark recommended exercises. Clapping to rhythm in seated position. Naming objects using real items or pictures. Push bin additional guidance. Short sessions, 3 to 5 minutes each. Always have a stable backrest chair. Caregiver or family support nearby. Practice in a quiet, well-lit, absolutely safe space. Blue Heart Group 2, moderate condition. Magnifying glass tilted right signs to recognize. Can walk around the house. Often forgetful, light sleep. Mild lack of focus or slow reactions. White heavy check mark recommended exercises. Cross arm and leg steps, standing near a chair. 4, 7, 8 breathing before bedtime. Naming objects plus telling stories related to familiar items. Push bin additional guidance. Practice twice a day, 10 minutes per session. Can include soft music to enhance emotions. Encourage post-practice interaction. Talk, review exercises. Greenheart Group 3, fairly active condition. Magnifying glass tilted right signs to recognize. Able to care for self daily. Can recall names of familiar people. Participates in basic social activities. White heavy check mark recommended exercises. Combine all 4 exercises. Heavy check mark clapping to rhythm. Heavy check mark naming objects. Heavy check mark cross arm and leg steps. Heavy check mark 4, 7, 8 breathing. Tell personal stories during practice to trigger emotional memory. Push bin additional guidance. Practice independently with simple instructions. Can extend duration if desired. Encourage memory recall, choosing favorite exercises. Direct hit general notes for all groups. Start from easy to moderate, no comparison across groups. Practice in a safe, comfortable, warmly lit environment. Maintain for at least 21 days to help the brain form new routine rhythms. There's one thing no doctor writes in a prescription. No researcher can measure with any machine. It's the feeling. When a child holds their father's hand and sees his eyes suddenly light up hearing an old melody again. When a wife retells their wedding day story and the husband, thought to have forgotten everything, laughs and repeats 3 words. The white dress. It's not full memory coming back. It's not Alzheimer's disappearing. But moments like that are when the heart connects, stronger than memory loss. We're not just training to recall the name of a spoon or to improve hand and leg reflexes. We're doing something far greater. Preserving the identity of a person. Preserving emotions they once had and still do, even if they can't name them. Preserving the invisible bond between parent and child, between spouses, between a person and themselves. Because Alzheimer's doesn't take away the soul. It only casts a mist over the memory path. But if we walk beside them patiently, hold their hand through that foggy road, we can still reach those moments of recognition, those pieces still whole. And if you're caring for a senior like that, please don't think you're just doing memory rehab exercises. You're doing something far more sacred. Preserving love through each gentle move, each warm breath, each tender word. That's how we love our loved ones. Even when they no longer know exactly who they are. Because we know clearly. They once loved us and still deserve love to their very last moment. Brain 3 core exercises. Easy to do, emotionally rich. Clapping in rhythm. Backhand index pointing right activates motor, sound, short-term memory connections. Naming familiar objects. Backhand index pointing right triggers visual memory, emotions, aids language area recovery. Simple cross-body movements. Backhand index pointing right stimulates cross-hemisphere brain activity, balance, cognitive boost. Best times to practice. Heavy check mark morning after a light snack or evening before dinner. Heavy checkmark avoid when overly tired, too hungry, or severely sleep-deprived. Pushpin the golden rule, 3 to 7, 21. Start with 3 minutes per session for weaker seniors. Gradually increase to 7 to 10 minutes. Maintain for 21 consecutive days to form a habit. Puzzle piece personalized exercise by condition group. Group 1, weaker condition, seated exercises, always with assistance. Group 2, moderate, light standing, sitting, storytelling integration. Group 3, fairly active, full exercises, independent and creative options. Light bulb tips to remember and apply. Keep a warm space, soft lighting, avoid loud noises. Use music, images, familiar voices. After each session, engage emotionally. Talk, review, share stories. Practice with familiar loved ones, warm voices, to build emotional safety. Red Heart remember the most important thing. Alzheimer's doesn't erase love. Every exercise you do today doesn't just awaken memory. It preserves the image, emotion, and identity of the one you love. You may not stop memory from slipping away, but you can hold on to love through small daily actions. You can choose to sit still and watch everything slowly fade. Or you can stand up, hold your loved one's hand, and start moving. Not to recover the past, but to stay together, longer, deeper, in each shared moment. If today you're training with a seniors facing memory loss, don't expect them to remember the moves. Hope they remember what it feels like to be loved. Because sometimes, what remains after everything isn't the name, but the look in their eyes. Not the memory, but the feeling of someone being there for a long, long time. Megaphone comment below one thing you're holding on to. A memory, a loved one, an unforgettable gaze. Or simply say, I'm here. I care. Outbox Dre, and if you know someone walking alongside Alzheimer's. Backhand index pointing right, share this video with them. Just one exercise a day could be the light in their darkest days. Speech balloon if this video touched something deep within you. Click like to spread the love. Hit subscribe so we'll meet again. Because the journey of healing doesn't need you to be a doctor. Just someone who cares with quiet patience. Movie camera, this is the Healthy Seniors, where memories are cherished and love begins again every single day.